Hello, it is I, IARESMART. Today, we're going to be talking about Andor, and specifically, we're going to be asking the question of, hey, you know that one scene where Starkiller's helmet was? Yeah, is Starkiller canon? Okay, that's the basic gist of this video. First of all, I want to tell you, look at this. I tried making the blue noodles again. They're bluer this time. They are more blue. Not the blue I was hoping for, but I'm going to try them. So, okay. They don't really taste like blue, they taste like rice. Because I used rice noodles this time, which is what the recipe called for, and I didn't use them the first time. So I'd say it worked out better. Blue noodles, what do you know? Anyway, so what was I talking about? Starkiller. So basically, let me swallow a second. Anyway, in the Andor, episode 4, there was a scene where there's a bunch of like cool stuff in this shop, and in the background, there is a helmet that looks exactly like the helmet that a character named Starkiller wears in the Force Unleashed game. And this caused a ton of people to be like, oh my gosh, yes, Starkiller, he's canon again, wow, because he was previously not in canon. So you might be asking, who the heck is Starkiller? I'm going to give you a brief overview if you're not familiar. So basically, back in like 2008-ish, maybe, there's this game called Force Unleashed. You play as this guy named Galen, Marek, who's like Darth Vader's apprentice. Darth Vader finds a kid and is like, I'm going to take that child. And, he takes this child and turns him to be super strong in the Force. And then Vader has this secret apprentice, because, he's not supposed to have an apprentice. It's just supposed to be Vader and Palpatine. He's not supposed to have a third Sith Lord. That's not fair. So anyway, he has this secret apprentice that goes and does stuff. And then, they fight a couple times, and anyway, at the end of the game, you fight Darth Vader, right? And there's a good ending where, you don't kill Darth Vader, and that's like the true ending. But there's also a bad dark side ending where you kill Vader. And then Palpatine is like, what the heck? So basically then Palpatine, turns Starkiller into, a metal, crazy-looking Sith Lord dude with all this cybernetics, and this really cool-looking helmet. So, basically, that helmet appeared in the Andor episode, and people are like, well, that's the Starkiller helmet, which is, a cool reference by the showrunners, but it begs the question, is that Starkiller's helmet? I'm just going to come right off the bat and say, no, it's not. Because, if you look at it, it looks like Starkiller's helmet, but the rest of the armor is totally different to his armor. So, it could just be the helmet put on some other armor, I guess. Sure, but it isn't Starkiller, so I'm just going to say it, because that wouldn't make any sense, right? This random guy who has a bunch of, very valuable stuff is not just going to have Starkiller's helmet, because that would imply he's not around, but also he was around, and it just creates a bunch of problems. Because also, for that helmet to exist, it must mean that Vader is dead. And, well, Darth Vader isn't dead. So, alright? Because this game takes place in basically, when you do the dark side ending, the game kind of goes on this alternate path, where you get to play some secret DLC missions, and you this is after you kill Darth Vader, you then kill Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then after that you kill, you turn Luke to the dark side and you kill Boba Fett. You do all this crazy stuff that's alternate timeline Star Wars stuff. And yeah, so, it's not supposed to be canon, it's supposed to be just fun, you get to play as a cool guy who goes around messing up the Star Wars universe. That's why the Force Unleashed games are cool. If you haven't played them, you should play them, because they're pretty cool. Now, this gets a bit more interesting, because while Galen Marek is probably not canon, probably never will return to canon, which is a good thing. This guy is super overpowered. People complain about Rey being overpowered with her Force abilities. Dude, Galen Marek, Starkiller, right? Literally sees a Star Destroyer and is like, I'm gonna pull that out of the sky, and goes whoosh. And you have to pull it out of the sky. It's insane. Literally insane. So, there's a good reason his character isn't canon anymore. Because when they made this game, it was kind of maybe canon, and then they later decided, no, it's not gonna be canon. But now everyone's like, oh, he's going to become canon again. And a bunch of people really want Starkiller to be canon, which is cool, I guess. I personally don't think he should, because it doesn't make sense. So, as of right now, Starkiller isn't canon. However, there is another character from the game called, what is his name? It evades me right now. It's, Ram Koda. Yeah, Ram Koda is this Jedi guy. First you fight him, and then you, come and find him. Oh, there's something in my eye. Anyway, this Ram Koda guy, he's a Jedi, and he's, blind, I think. You, blind him, and so anyway, he, trains you to be, a good guy when you're secretly being a bad guy. Anyway, it's this whole story. But the thing is, Ram Koda, was, not canon because he was in this Force Unleashed game. However, in Kenobi, when he was on that path, right, where they were, in that one episode, they were in, that room, had a bunch of, writing on the wall. I heard that apparently, I didn't see it myself, I could go back and look, but I forgot to. Apparently he was made canon because one of the writing on the wall said Ram Koda. So that means that there is a Jedi in Star Wars Canon named Ram Koda. It could just be, ooh, cool name, it probably doesn't, he probably didn't meet Starkiller and all that stuff. But that means that he is canon, and now we've seen this helmet of Starkiller. Now, I would like to clarify something. The probable explanation for this helmet is the fact that it's a Sith Stalker helmet. So it wasn't like Starkiller was the only one who ever wore one of these helmets. They were called the Sith Stalkers, and they were like a really ancient thing, which makes sense why it would be in this, you know, kind of fancy shop on Coruscant. So it's more than likely just one of the ancient armors. And these are supposed to be like cybernetic enhanced stuff, and Palpatine probably just had one and was like, well, I got this Starkiller guy, I'm going to give it to him. So that's probably the explanation in the game. However, that helmet has only appeared in The Force Unleashed. It's just, you know, the game lore explained it as, oh, this is like an ancient Sith helmet, and, you know, Starkiller is now wearing it because he's, like, evil and Sith and stuff. So, yeah, there's that. And that's probably the explanation. They just made Sith Stalkers canon. That's probably what they're going to go with. It's more likely than making Starkiller canon. Also because I think there was two. There was one that we saw, like, in the front of the store, but there's also another set of armor in the back of the store in that episode. So, it wouldn't make sense if there was two Starkiller helmets. It's more than likely that they're just Sith Stalker helmets. But anyway, going back to Ram Koda, another thing that's interesting is that in the Force Unleashed game, you and Ram Koda, because you are like playing as Starkiller and Ram Koda, but also you meet Bail Organa and like Princess Leia, and then you help create the rebellion. So that's another thing I think that's probably we're not going to see, because that was kind of the explanation for a while in like the Legends lore, that Starkiller was the one who helped create the Rebel Alliance. But I'm pretty sure that they're going to change that. I think even in the show, Andor, I think that's going to be a major plot point, is we're going to see the birth of the rebellion. Because we got Mon Mothma, we got Cassian Andor, and we got... What's this new guy's name? Anyway, the guy that Cassian is running around with who has the cool spaceship. That guy, right? I think they're going to create the Rebel Alliance. I think that's probably going to be a major plot point. Because like one of the promotional images said, witness the birth of the rebellion. You know, so I think that's going to be a major point in the show, is seeing how the Rebel Alliance actually formed. So they're probably going to swap that out, you know, the old Force Unleashed explanation for the new one. So, yeah. So basically, the whole point of this video, they're not going to make Starkiller canon. I'm sorry. It's probably not going to happen. Like, maybe they could kind of do it, but they're not going to. Anyway, other fun fact, I don't know if you knew this, but the guy who plays Starkiller, who did, like, all the motion capture and stuff, yeah, he also does the voice of Darth Maul. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. What is his name off the top of my head? Sam Witwer, that's what his name is. Yeah, he did the motion capture and all the voice for Starkiller in the games. There's two Force Unleashed games. The second one was really short and not as good, but the first one was pretty cool. And then he also did the voice of Darth Maul, and he does a really good Palpatine voice. He did the Palpatine voice in the Force Unleashed games, and also like the Clone Wars. I think he did that, and in a Rebels episode. Yeah, he's got a pretty good Palpatine voice. I Like, I think mine's decent, but his is just really, really good. And, of course, his Darth Maul voice is really good. So, yeah. Sam Witwer, really, really talented guy. And, so, yeah. Anyway, what was the point of this video? Starkiller is probably not canon. Sorry to disappoint you. But I wanted to talk about it because, I mean, the Force Unleashed games are cool. If you haven't played them, you should go play them because they're pretty cool. They're not canon anymore, but they're kind of cool. So, anyway, Andor is also really good, so you should watch that if you're not watching it. But you're probably already watching it. Anyway, when this video goes up, I think there's probably a new episode out, so I'm going to be watching that when this video goes out. Anyway, bye. That's all I had for you guys today, so see ya. And, oh, happy spooky month. It's October, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, bye.
Your feelings for her are not real.
They are real to me!